So welcome to another episode of Dying with Diabetes in America. I, of course, Michelle Robinson, and here's my lovely co-host, Mr. Myke Herlihy.
Hey, how are you doing this week?
I'm futzing around with my own insulin. I'm making my own adjustments because I've been having a lot of lows still.
Yeah?
So, like waking up in the 40s, 50s, and just no matter what I've been doing, it hasn't changed. So I'm taking down some of my insulin and kind of correcting from there. So being my own doctor.
What do you mean taking down? Like you feel like you're over?
I think that my long-acting insulin, you take once, and normally you take once, and it lasts for 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of the background insulin, and it's just I think that's whooping my butt.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really hard to know exactly. I mean, so I'll start with that. I'll see what it does to my blood sugars. I'll correct as needed.
Mm-hmm.
If it gives me or if that does too much and then my blood sugar goes too high, I'll come back in with raising it up or possibly looking at changing my carb to insulin ratio or my sensitivity ratio.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of stupid ratios, and I hate math. So this was not the disease for me.
Not at all.
But other than that, it's another week in the diabetes life. So I'm excited. I didn't think we were going to get to have her on, and we are. So I met our new guest from the Dead Pancreas Society on Facebook.
Fun.
Yeah. And Danny and Leslie actually got me in touch with her. So, another story which I love to share with everybody. I love to share everybody's experiences, good and bad, and just kind of get down. I have to put down the pen. I'm sorry. And just kind of go from there. So I'm excited to have her on. So please say hello to Jessica Walker. I'm going to try to say the last name. Stayshich.
You got it. You nailed it on the first shot.
Nice.
I've been lucking out with some of these last names, and I'm like, oh no, I'm going to murder it, and I say it, and they're like, yeah, woo-hoo. So hey, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
Hey,
how are you guys doing?
Good.
Another day, another Tuesday,
right?
So yeah, we got to meet up. Well, really, it was Leslie in the Dead Pancreas Society, Leslie Gordon, who
love her.
Tagged you. Yes. She was a lot of fun to have on. She really, really was. And I wanted to talk to you. I want to get your story. I want to find out about your craziness. and you have kids. Do you have kids?
I do. Leslie does not believe me. She would like you to see my birth certificate.
That's right. I remember this now.
Yeah. So
tell him how old your son is.
My son will be 15 next month.
Look at her.
I will be 40. Thanks, Mama. I will be 40 in March. So
wow. God, I can't say much. I'm eking towards 40. It's another.
But see, you don't look it either.
Oh, thank you.
We got those good genes, girl. We got those
Thank
good genes.
God, because you see how some people age, and it's never a pretty sight.
No, not at all.
I'm right here. Thanks. I'm right here, and that was rude.
I know. Yes, Myke, you're my favorite old dude.
Ah, thanks. It's funny because women mature faster, but men age better.
I mean, it's
so like you're going to be a very mature old lady, and I'm going to be a very good-looking older gentleman with the mind of a 19-year-old.
You'll die first.
Yeah, but you know what? If you've ever had to live with one of you, that's a good thing.
Facts, Myke, facts. I mean, I can't argue that. I can't argue it.
It's not my fault we shorten your lifespan.
No,
it really
stress.
If you would just go through evolution a bit more and get out of the 19-year-old minds, I'm sure it could be a longer life for you.
Because if you're young in here, you're young out there. George Burns was 101 years old, and he said, I can do everything I do at 100 years old that I could do at 19 years old, which should give you some idea of how pathetic I was when I was 19.
Exactly, dude. Oh, God. It's fun times. It's good times. So it's not about you. It's about
Kind of is.
it can be about him.
No. Let's get to Jess because I'm sure she has a story in her life and she's interesting. So, Jess,
Of course I do.
where are you coming from right now? Where are we talking to you?
So I live in Rock Hill, South Carolina, which is about 30 minutes south of Charlotte, North Carolina. And I grew up in Charlotte. So
okay, cool, very very groovy. Jumping right to the diabetes. When were you diagnosed?
Yeah. So I was actually diagnosed at 13, which will be 26 years ago next week.
Aww.
So my anniversary is coming up.
See, there's some people that know their anniversaries, and I do not.
I know the week of. I do not know the specific date.
Okay. I know the month, so I should really celebrate the entire month.
Absolutely. As long as you're good with it. So there was a long time where I was absolutely angry towards diabetes. And it wasn't actually until I got pregnant with my son that I embraced it and kind of truly accepted it. And at that point, I had already had it for 11 years.
Yeah.
But
how was the pregnancy? Like, did you have?
Oh my gosh. So my pregnancy was not one for the books per se. Like I was not textbook. So my endocrinologist was amazed because my A1C with Aiden, it was 5.2 like the entire time.
Nice.
And I had just been put back on a pump because I didn't have insurance before I got pregnant with him. Once I got pregnant, then of course I got the lovely Medicaid.
Oh my god!
I was young. I was 24. I was working.
Aid in Medicaid. No.
Oh, there isn't. But at that era, they did. What's funny is we had tried to get me Medicaid years before.
Yeah.
Because I was of course, off my parents' insurance. I didn't have a full-time job that had great insurance. Like I would pay way more out of pocket.
Oh yeah.
Than what it was worth. So I didn't do it. And I remember my mom had taken me down to the Social Security office and Medicaid telling me, well, if she gets knocked up, we'll cover her. What?
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
What a PSA.
Well, do I need to ask how that night went? You're like, don't worry, Ma, I got this.
No problem.
You went into your Instagram app, pulled up the guys you knew, pulled up your picture, started doing that baby blend. Like, let's see what it would look like.
Honey, Instagram didn't work back then. It was a flip phone.
I keep forgetting how old she is because I'm over here like, what do you mean this was when Medicaid was good? And, oh shit! And I mean, you're only 3 years older than me, but still, it's
right. I mean, it does make a difference. Yeah. So, as far as those things and technology, I get it. Like, I'm older, but like I get all fields of it. But what is funny is, so I wasn't supposed to be able to have kids. The OB. I remember it multiple visits, and I was young. It didn't matter, but she was telling me, you're not going to be able to have kids.
They're such bitches. They're such bitches about it. I had the same thing with my OB.
Really?
They always said, oh, well, either your baby's going to die or you're going to have such bad complications that you're going to die. And it was like, why would you? Why? Like, you're not an endocrinologist. You have no idea what I'm doing on my side.
I don't have diabetes, but I wasn't supposed to be able to have kids either. Like, there's nothing medically wrong. It's just that everybody who knew me would say, please don't breed.
Please don't procreate. Got it.
Yeah.
But, that's awesome.
No, that's interesting. So it was kind of like God not only went ahead and said, hey, I'm giving you this disease, but by the way, I'm going to let you have kids too. So
exactly.
Screw your entire thing up.
The joke I have is that Aiden is the
Hey,
flute.
He's the flute. That's my
son
kid's
was named Aiden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do you spell it? Which way did you go?
Aiden.
I went Aedan with the little symbol over the E, like the Gaelic little hyphen. But
why you gotta be so extra?
Because I'm bougie. Have we met?
Yeah.
So
Clearly.
we got rid of the hyphen, and he just can't find anything with his name on it, which is nice. It saves me a ton of money when we go to Disney. Dad, can I get the mug? Yeah. No, they spelt your name wrong. Come
this
on,
is coming from a guy with Myke with a Y, though.
Exactly, like Mikey.
that don't make no sense.
Mickey. Oh, Mickey.
That's still just Mikey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can't deny it. You cannot deny it.
I can totally deny it.
No, look at how it's spelled. It can go many ways.
Look at how it's spelled. And the reason for that is I started doing stand-up comedy in South Florida. And there were about 6 mics on the list whenever we signed up for open mic. And I did the Y in there because that's how my nephew tried spelling my name when he wrote me a birthday card when he was really, really small. Aww. So I did just to separate it. And, 15 years later, all those other mics dropped off. But Myke was the most common name from 1964 up until like 1993. So I went out of my way to give my son a not common name. I went with Aiden. And sure enough, 2010, all the most common names. You got Aiden, Hayden, Caden. If you can put Aiden in it, it's out there now.
Oh, legit. And my son was born in 2005.
Yeah. I should have gone with Myke. I should have called him Myke because nobody names anyone Myke anymore.
No, please don't. That's
it would have come back in the trend.
That's my ex-husband's name. Oh. Yeah.
Is that Aiden's father?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we were married for 16 years. We're in the middle of a divorce now. He's a great guy. Like he truly he knew nothing about diabetes when we were dating. Before we were dating, and I still, to this day, if Aiden or I called him, he would help me. But we just, it just didn't work. So
yeah, but I mean, you used them. You got the kid. You got the Medicaid. It worked out well.
Oh my God!
Silver lining, rainbow sparkles, all that stuff.
It's one of those things.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just doesn't work.
Right, and it does, and it didn't. But we toughed it out, and I will forever say that if it was not for Myke and for Aiden, I wouldn't be here because I was such at a crap point with my diabetes. Like I was just, I was not taking care of it at all. I was surviving. That was it. That was it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get to that point.
Yeah.
No, like honestly, if it wasn't for the fact, and we're all parents here, and it gets to that point when you're in high school and you have a tough life, it's like you almost romanticize not being here anymore. Like it's the romantic, like the big, you're going to miss me when I'm gone. But as you get older, you get to the point where it's not even about being romantic or having anyone weep for missing you. You're just like, I got to wake up and do this again tomorrow. And I got to wake up and do it the next day. You start thinking, maybe I just don't want to be here just because I don't want to do this for the rest of it. Especially with people who, like you have your diabetics every day, chronic pain, chronic illness, everything else. At some point you go, what's the point? What's the point? But if I know there's days that if I didn't have my kids and know that my whole job as a parent is to live up until a minute before they don't need me anymore, I would have been gone too. So it's
I can
great.
agree with that.
I definitely think kids, not for everybody, but I can speak for me, give us our purpose. Like I didn't know my purpose until I was pregnant with him. And the whole reason my A1C went from basically a 12 to a 5 point whatever was I cannot harm this child that is inside of me. They didn't ask for this.
My A1C when I was pregnant was 4.9.
Oh my God.
No, and I wish I could say it was because I was taking great care of myself, but it was because I was like ODing on insulin. So I was taking ungodly amounts of insulin because all I could think was like, I can't let her get hurt.
Yeah. See, that was my mentality. was I cannot let him be affected by this. Yeah. So on my visit, my last OB visit, they had, they do the ultrasound.
Yeah.
And it weighs them. And they were like, you're diabetic. You're going to have a big baby. He's weighing at 10 pounds. Honey,
they told me the same thing.
I had a C-section that night, and he came out 7'7". Perfect.
My daughter was 6'9", and it was like I was told at my last, because I had to go, and I don't know if you had to go to a perinatal endocrinologist or obstetrician, and they do more tests on the babies to make sure like they can really zero in their pancreases and see if they're too large or what have you. They do all kinds of things, and they said I was going to have like a 10-pound baby. Yeah, it made me feel better when I looked at how much weight I gained. But then this tiny little thing comes out, and it was sad.
Well, it's nice to know for all those big degrees, these guys aren't any more accurate than the guess the weight guy at Universal Studios.
The weatherman.
He's like, I'm gonna say you're 6'2" and about 280. I'm a midget and I'm anorexic. Okay, pick out a prize.
So anyone that I know that has had a kid, like after I did, and most of them were not diabetic, I was like, do not believe what they say when they weigh the baby by the ultrasound machine, because that's just not correct.
That's right.
It's
until backwards. You're standing there, the baby's out, you're holding it upside down by its feet, doing the fishing picture with it. You don't know until you got the scale right there, and you're like, look, I'll hold it close to the camera. It looks bigger that way. Yeah.
I loved having a C-section. And I think the reason why I loved it was because you really got to control your own sugars. You didn't have to worry about the stress and adrenaline hitting you because you couldn't feel anything, and it was beautiful.
Well, I have two. The first one was all natural. The second one was done by C-section because his mom had excess fluid, like just excess fluid. So it was causing him to rotate and get tangled in his cord. So they decided they had to go in. And it was funny because the first time I cut the cord, and the second time I was standing by her head. And because they were doing C-section, they put up the big sheet in the screen. Yeah. And the doctor looked at me. He's like, this has to be kind of awkward for you, huh? And I'm like, no, not really. This is kind of the exact way this one was conceived. So this is kind of, if anything, I'm having flashbacks right now.
My husband was the one looking over the sheet because he was a paramedic firefighter at the time. Yeah. So he was looking over it, and I'm like, well, what does it look like? He's like, there's a lot of different colors, mostly pink though. I mean, I didn't want to see it.
That's annoying to everybody else in the room. Like when I bartended and there would be another guy that came in and ordered martinis, like, just so you know, make them good. I used to be a bartender. It's like, back up, pal. Let me do my job. I just imagine your husband looking over and go, oh, you're going to use the green clamp on that one, huh? No, that's interesting. That's interesting. Not what I would do, but hey, it's your emergency room. You do it. You do it.
I will say there have been a couple of times paramedics have come to the house and tried to do an IV on me. And if there's a problem, I'm dehydrated, you can't. And he'll do it because he can get
he knows your veins.
Exactly. Yeah. I hate veins. I hate veins.
I am a hard stick. And I find it funny, when you go into DKA or any other reason that you're at the hospital, mainly DKA.
Yeah.
They won't believe you when you're like, I'm a hard stick. Everyone tries to jab your vein, and I'm like, you're not gonna get it. And 90% of the time, I end up having to have it in my jugular.
Oh, no. Oh,
they won't believe me, and they all want to have a go at it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The constant bruises. I found the back of my hand to be an easier spot than anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't on my hands for some reason.
Forget the Life Alert bracelets. You guys should all get tattoos that just say "insert here."
Yes. Oh, well, I want a diabetes sleeve.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at it too. Once the COVID stuff.
Right.
Then I would love to have a couple of things all drawn out.
There's I have several ideas. I just need someone to help me piece it together.
Yeah.
So that it looks good.
You want it to look like a full piece of art, not just a patchy.
Right.
Yeah. I get it.
So growing up, one thing I want is like a steel magnolia. And of course, it's a play off the movie.
Yeah.
Sure.
I hated that movie. I'm so sorry.
Did you?
I hated
I
Julia
loved it
Roberts
before
so
I was diabetic.
Yes.
Though.
Okay. No, I
The whole time I watched that play, I just sat there thinking to myself, I need to get my colors done. I really need to get my colors done. Like, I don't even know. Am I? Maybe that's the problem. My favorite color is blue, but maybe I'm earth tones and I'm doing this all wrong.
You're an autumn. You're an autumn all the way.
Oh, stop it. You're just.
So, yeah, no, after I became a diabetic, though, dude, hardcore hated that movie.
And what's funny is Daniel and I were talking about this today when we FaceTimed. You know, the part where Sally Fields is like, you know, drink the juice, Shelby.
Yes.
Just drink the juice. Dude, I've had like maybe one low in my life where I was shaking like that and like barely able to drink. Most of my lows, I'm still coherent. If I'm not, I'm just gone. And you've got to.
Well, it's funny. We talk
you gotta
about.
Give me the Dex 5.
We talk about cinnamon a lot on the show. Cinnamon. And I sent Michelle screenshots the other day. One of my friends on Facebook, who's not diabetic, had just posted like, "Hey, I just really need to get my blood sugar under control. Anyone got any suggestions?" And it must have been like 4 screenshots of just non-diabetics going, "What you want to do is cinnamon. You can get it in a capsule, or you can get it." I was dying. I was in tears.
Oh my god! And
did they offer okra water to down it? Like take a cinnamon pill and down it with some okra water.
They didn't offer okra water, but my new favorite thing to do when I go out to eat now, like wherever I go, like I was at the Yard House last week, and they were just like, "Can we get you some drink?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll have an okra water." They're like, "We don't." I'm like, "Fine, Coke." Thought you were one of those classic. You got 352 beers on tap, but no okra water. Okay, no, we will not be back.
You're not bougie enough for me, sir.
You know what? Just bring me a water and a side of okra. I'll do it myself. Okay.
Oh my god, you're too much.
It's funny because I'm sitting here.
It is. It's
me. Like I do a lot of radio shows and a lot of podcasts, and usually when I hear beeps, I'm like, "Hey guys, can you remember to turn off your phone?" But with you guys, I'm like, "Oh, she might be dying. I should let that go."
We can't mute those. Like it comes through no matter how silent you make your phone or your phone.
It's
once you hit, it's going.
It's just a big screaming. You should have had another glass of okra water today. That's all that is.
Exactly.
With a dash of cinnamon.
With a dash of cinnamon, the rim, just like a margarita.
Yeah,
you just
like
wet the rim, little cinnamon, okra water. I think we got on some pumpkin seed shooters.
Oh my god.
We're off and running.
And don't forget, you got to wash it all with, oh my god, cold water.
Yeah.
Cold showers.
You should drink it while you're on a treadmill in the shower because God knows you don't exercise or take enough cold showers, and that's why you have diabetes.
Exactly.
I think we solved it all.
No, don't forget the one doctor who said we had sex with aliens.
Yeah, that's true. I know Trump got COVID.
What?
I
know Is that
Trump.
How I got pregnant? Is that how I got pregnant?
Right? That's what cured it. That's why you were cured.
Yeah. I know Trump got COVID this week, but were you kind of wishing he had gotten diabetes too? Just because you're like,
all because of his comment. I'm like, please, then can you really experience, even though I know you have godly amounts of money, can you please just pay for a vial of insulin out of your pocket and then go, yeah, it is more expensive than water.
Yeah.
It's like when Ellen had one of the Richies on. Rich people, and she was having them guess the price of grocery items, and he's just going off the like $19 for a box of crackers, and everybody's laughing, and they're like, "You really don't know, do you?"
No,
of course they don't. They don't have to.
That was my dream show for a while. I wanted to do The Price is Right, just The Price is Right.
Oh yes,
But I wanted everybody that was on The Price is Right to either work in medical billing or government billing. That way, when they're like, "Okay, what we have here is a hammer. That's going to be $14,500, Bob." It's a hammer.
We have some
You're
plastic
right.
tubing.
15,000. Then the one next to him goes 1,501.
How much is 2 Tylenol, Bob?
We're looking at $400.
That'll be $562, sir.
Exactly.
I'll tell you. Price is Right was a great show, but every time someone did that $1 above the highest, I would look at that person and go, "That tells me everything I need to know about you."
About
like,
you. Right.
Yeah.
You don't know anything.
That should be a first date question. That should be like, hey, if you're on Price is Right and you got the final bid and the highest bid is $1,500, what are you saying? If she says 1,501, I'm like, I gotta go. My friend has a thing. You're that type of person.
I've got to go wash my hair. I'm really sorry.
I gotta go. You know what? Can I get my Okra Water to go? I'm out of here. She is a 1,501 person, Wade. You know we don't deal with that.
So, getting back to the diabetes. So you got diagnosed at 13.
Yeah.
And how did it come about? Like, you just woke up one day and you felt your pancreas and it was like, no.
Nah, I have actually a bit of to me it's interesting because it's different, but I think everybody's story is different and I love hearing everyone's story. So I went to a Catholic school. So
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, me too.
I did too.
Did you? So you know the deal. Yeah. And it was small. And I was in 8th grade. And my 8th grade counselor was actually the mom of one of my classmates. Mm-hmm. So, like, she had watched me for a couple of years. You know, she just seen me. Yeah. I was an average girl, a little on the chunky side. Mm-hmm. And it was the fall of 1994. Okay. And my parents, my family, we had just adopted 2 boys from Russia. Oh. We had just bought a new house. Mm-hmm. So like a lot of stuff was going on. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden that counselor was talking to the girls that I was friends with and that I ate lunch with. Mm-hmm. She said, you know, does she go to the bathroom right after she eats? Does she eat? And they were like, yeah, she eats. And we all go to the bathroom like it's lunch, bathroom, recess. Like,
it's just the way it is.
We all do. So they were not catching on to what she was asking. Mm-hmm. She pulls me in and talks to me. And I'm like, look, dude, I love food. I'm a fatty. Like, give me food. I'll eat it all day long. Let's go. And that's basically all that she asked. Like, she thought I had an eating disorder. So she called my mom. Mm-hmm. And my mom was like, yes, she had a physical like 2 months ago at the beginning of the school year. I'll call the doctor and get her weight and I will call you back. And she got the doctor's weight, called the nurse at the school. They had already weighed me and I was not allowed to see what I weighed. And at the time it didn't make sense to me. Mm-hmm. And I literally had lost over 50 pounds in 2 weeks or 2 months. 2 months.
Wow.
Not weeks. 2 months.
Yeah. Still, that's wow.
That's a lot. Yeah. But to me, I didn't notice anything, but I was hiding my symptoms too. Yeah. So I was extremely thirsty. Yeah. I'd wake up in the middle of the night. We lived in a 2-story house where all the bedrooms were up top. And I was like terrified to like go by my parents' room and like them hear me awake. Mm-hmm. So I would just go to the bathroom, stick my head under the faucet and just guzzle. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then at 13, I was peeing the bed and I couldn't tell my mom that. I was too embarrassed. Yeah. So, and I had just started getting a period. And so my mom was like, why are you washing your sheets again? And at the time, you know, I did laundry. Yeah. I'm like, oh, they're dirty. Oh, you know, it's that time of the month.
You know, it's shark tap.
Right.
You know how it is.
Yeah, like anything I could do to hide that. Like I was just embarrassed. Mm-hmm. And when my mom heard the weight, they took me to the doctor that day. Mm-hmm. And this pediatrician knew me since birth. And he said, without even running blood work, he goes, I know what's wrong with her. And my mom was like, just tell us once you get the blood work back. And they got it back and they said like within like, it was like probably like an hour or less. I can't remember that, but we were still in the office. Right. And he was like, yeah, she's diabetic. And the first words out of my mama's mouth was, at least it's not cancer.
silver linings.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like, okay.
I gotta tell you,
I have no idea what was just said to me, but at least it's not Cancer Mary.
We've done about 12 or 13 of these, and every time everybody's story is a little bit different. You know, there's some signs that as soon as you start hearing it, you're like, oh, okay, here it comes. And I'm always like amazed at what age people found out and how they found out. Because before we started doing these, I always thought like you're diabetic because you got bit by a diabetic. Like I thought that was how everything, that's how bad things happen. You got AIDS because you had, you know, with someone with AIDS. So if you got diabetes, it's because you were traveling in a bad group with other people with diabetes, and one night at a club a diabetic bit you, and now you have diabetes. So it's really interesting.
I got diabetes, Mike.
Hey, if Edward Cullen bit me and gave me the beatus, I'd be okay with that.
Hey,
I was
Catholic
a
school in Connecticut, public schools in Florida. So it kind of balanced out. I was the smartest kid in my class for 1 year, and then it just went to diabetes. They bite you. That's how you get the beaties. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Stay away from diabetics.
You and your cinnamon, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
But
throw cinnamon at us; it'll make us go away.
Right. Just that Exorcist scene where they're just throwing Exorcist.
How cinnamon compels you.
Okra water just sprinkling all over you. Yeah.
Call me Carol Ann.
Yes.
Exactly. This house is clean.
So obviously, that was 94. So you're 13 years old, right?
Yep.
And as if Catholic teenage schoolgirl's life is simple enough, now all of a sudden 13 years old and your life is just boom, automatically in that 1 hour change forever. How did you take it?
Not well.
Was there any history in your family of this? Anyone to relate it to?
So shout out to Jason Hurlbert, who is in the Dead Pancreas Society.
Woo, woo.
He's my cousin.
Very cool.
Has it. But he's a little bit older than me. And I did not know him. Okay. But my mama would always say, you know, your cousin Jason has it, and this is what's going on with him. But there was we didn't connect until we connected a couple years ago on Facebook. But like I recruited him to the Dead Pancreas Society, and through all of the posts and everything, like we've become a lot closer. We talk a lot more. Yeah. But prior to that, I didn't know. So it's Jason and I have it from my mama's side, and come to find out, another cousin of ours that he knows has it.
Wow.
And on my dad's side, it's a lot of type 2s, but they're all just recently like getting diagnosed.
Yeah.
And in my husband's side, ex-husband's side, he has a lot of type 2s, no type 1s. So when I got pregnant, like I was just terrified though that Aiden was going to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anytime, and Aiden knows, like as soon as I notice him drinking more, the words.
Let me see your finger.
Right? The words that are going to come out of my mouth.
Oh, yeah. Ellen knows it too. Anytime she gets sick or what have you, I'm like,
right.
That those poor kids, they're just running around outside. They come in, they want to drink because they're hot. You're like, are you drinking water? No, I'm good. Wasn't going to drink.
Aiden woke up in the middle of the night, like last week. And I heard him get something to drink out of the kitchen. And I'm sitting there going, oh my God. He woke up thirsty. He's peeing. He's got the beatus.
He's got the beatus.
Yikes.
Yes.
And I know he doesn't. And I check him and he allows it. Like he puts up with my shenanigans, and thank God, because he didn't. Like
I just picture him chugging out of a cup. You come walking out in the middle of the night. He doesn't even look up. He just puts up his thumb for you. You're like, just do what you're doing. I'm just trying to get back to bed.
Yeah,
right?
It's one of those things. It's a worry that we have, though.
I like how you said you recruited your cousin to the Dead Pancreas Society. It's almost like Dead Pancreas Society has become like Fight Club. You know, like I brought him in. I know him. First rule of Dead Pancreas Society: no elephant ears.
We can't mention anybody's name.
Yeah.
Can't mention anybody's name, but let me tell you, you are completely right on that Fight Club thing. Because, dude, there's nobody to beat you down quicker than somebody who thinks they know what they're talking about or gets pissed off on posts and like the people
we
in that
have
group will
lots
come
of
for you.
Karens. We've had lots of Karens like pop
Chads.
up.
We've gotten a lot of Chads.
Well, I call them Richards because they're dicks.
But my grandfather's name was Richard, so I can't do that. So I gotta call them Chads.
Okay, I get it. It doesn't matter what they are. Like, you pop out and you have an issue with a post, like, or you say something that is not along our base, we're coming for you. Yeah. There are now 900 of us in this group. And I get we're all individuals and we all have different opinions and we all do our diabetes differently. Yep. And we have questions of things. But if you're going to come up holier than thou, we're coming for you, Karen. We got your number. We're coming. And the funny thing is, as soon as we all pop out of our little moleholes, they run and hide. I'm like, okay, if you're going to say something, stand up for yourself and come back for it.
What type of stuff is it? Is it diabetics trash talking other diabetics, or is it non-diabetics telling you what your problems are?
Oh no, we're all diabetics in this group. Yeah. Or there are a few like parents of diabetics or spouses of. Yeah. But those are not the ones that are popping up and saying things.
I'm in the group, but I kind of feel like in Highlander, the guy who just sits back and observes all the Highlanders, like, I'm here to help, but I'm going to be over here minding my business.
But I got over here.
Yeah, so you're probably one of the few that doesn't have it. But I feel like you could probably, number one, you're learning a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And number two, you could say things and we're not going to come for you. It's the ones that just, you strike that wrong chord with a diabetic, or I feel like a cancer patient or an epileptic. Like, it doesn't matter. Any illness that you have, if you rub a group a wrong way,
the issues you've had with people, has it been people being judgy about the way people handle their diabetes, or
it's normally somebody will post a joke in the group and everybody, I mean, we all make fun of the diabetes at times.
Yeah. But we laugh so we don't cry. Yeah.
Exactly. We laugh while we cry.
Yes. Yes.
There's something else for your tattoo, Jess. Just a little shield that says I laugh while I cry.
I'm just gonna get who was it? Wilford Grimley. I always get his name wrong.
Yes, diabetes.
Yeah, the Beatus guy. I got diabetes and
I used to work for his company there. Yeah,
you worked for Liberty Medical?
I did. Yep. I slung some Slin for a while. Yeah.
Hell
yeah. Yeah. And so, I pointed out before, that's part of the issue of it. I worked there for 2 years and still didn't know what I was selling. And I'm like, it's not right that I'm able to get you verified and recommend products when I had no idea what anything was doing. Because Michelle, we've talked about before how her insurance approves this pen, but the cartridges that don't fit that pen, because someone on the other end, on the business side, crunching numbers goes, oh, I got a good rate on this, and it's all the same. So this is what we're putting out there. And that's why I think one of the stances I've said from the start, we need more people working in insurance that understand the needs of a diabetic. It should be someone who is either diabetic themselves or has a close family member, or here's an idea, took a class on diabetes.
Yeah. I mean,
be able to look and go, yeah, that makes no sense why we would give you this and this, because those two do not go together.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, though. Lack of knowledge, of course, is everywhere. And like I was saying, when people getting butthurt about posts, somebody will post a joke and immediately that triggers them. Now, I can understand it when a non-diabetic will make a stupid thing like, why don't you just drink more cinnamon? But when we do it, it should be known that it's a joke, or don't just automatically jump on, well, you all aren't real diabetics. It's like, oh, me.
See, and that's what got me this morning. When I woke up to pee, I checked my phone as I'm peeing, and I see this guy going off. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
Oh, my
Here we go. Let's flip that switch. I'm coming for you. Because I'm in the same boat, whereas if it is a non-diabetic that says, I just ate 6 pieces of cake and now I got the beatus.
Oh, yes.
No, you don't. No,
you will once I take out your islet cells.
Right. Like, give those to me. Let me just have your pancreas. Can I get a pancreas transplant? Let's
I
just
didn't know.
do it.
Did you know that they leave the old pancreas in there? Yeah. When you get a transplant, they put the new pancreas over the old pancreas.
What?
Yeah, but it's because if your body rejects the new pancreas, your old pancreas still makes enzymes to digest.
Yeah,
so
and I know that.
Kind of like when Dixie puts a new expiration date over the old expiration date on all their meat and dairy products. Gotcha.
That's a Band-Aid.
Just saves time. Yeah.
Or in the meat department when they just add tomato sauce to the ground beef to make it look redder.
It's good. It's good.
When you go into Food Line and it looks like it's people signing a check after the first day of the new year, they're like, "We'll just turn that 0 into a 1."
It's so awesome. What do you use now for your therapy needs? Like your insulin
what hardware
therapy?
are you rocking? What
For me,
what equipment are you driving?
I got the T-Slim and the Dexcom G6.
Nice.
I rock it. Love it. So I came from Medtronic. Yeah, horrible. Now, I will say though, for the time that I had it, I was blessed to have it. Very grateful, but the sensors never worked for me.
Yeah.
And so I just never used them. I think I used them maybe a handful of times. But I didn't get good results and it was aggravating. And but there were several times that the Medtronic sent me into DKA. Like I had so many malfunctions with that pump. Yeah. And of course you go to the ER and you're in DKA, you feel like crap. And they're like, why did you stop taking your insulin? You're like, dude, it's still attached to my hip.
That's totally what I was rooting for. I didn't here.
I did not. I have not stopped. I've been taking my insulin, I swear to you. And I would end up in
an occlusion or air bubbles.
And on that pump on the Medtronic, that was a Paradigm that I had, the last one I had. You know, it would not tell me I had an occlusion. It would not tell me anything. I did not have the alarms that I have with the T-Slim, which, you know, the T-Slim can be a little annoying at times with as many alarms.
Right.
But my God, I'll take every alarm I get every day because I'm in such better control. Yeah. Like I was bouncing from Medtronic between that and the MDI manual injections that I was just like, I can't do this anymore.
So 1994, you're still at that place in 1994 where you didn't have pumps as available as they are now and everything. Like, were you doing straight up just vial strips?
When I was first diagnosed, I was on shots.
Okay.
And of course, all finger pricks. Like there was no CGMs were available then. Let me tell you, right now, if I did not have my CGM, I would cry. So I went from shots, and then very quickly, my endocrinologist, who was a juvenile endocrinologist, all he did was work with kids, which was great, but he threw me onto a pump. And the pump back then that I had was Desatronic.
Yes.
And you remember Desatronic?
Yes, I do.
Yes. It did not count carbs for you. You had to put in everything. You had to do the math.
Yeah.
Was that the same pump you had? The big.
That was the big one that I had.
The rectangle looking.
Yeah.
And you had to put it
thing?
in a and you had to put it in a bag to get in the shower. Like you couldn't disconnect.
Yeah.
It was
with the like 1.5 inch sight or whatever that one is.
Not fun at all.
No, and I mean those infusion sites were brutal. I mean,
and the needle stayed in.
Oh God, yes.
There was not.
I remember with Michelle,
no
she had built up so much scar tissue around there that she couldn't even find a good spot. Like she just had continuous callus on her belly.
Yeah.
That's like with me. I have so much scar tissue on my stomach that it's awful, and that's why I have trouble with absorption at times.
Yeah.
Now.
And I mean, it's screwed up because it's like they tell you to rotate these so many sites, and a lot of times, like I can't do my legs. Probably some of it's fear, but the other part of me is ow. And I already got the abs in the back of my arms.
I've done my thighs. I became a master at the back of my arms because I would just roll it against a wall.
Yes.
And jab it in.
Yes.
I remember as a kid, I was in the bathroom at a restaurant taking my insulin. And I had a lady tell me, you shouldn't do drugs in the bathroom.
Oh, my God.
And I did not know. I didn't know what drugs really were at 13.
That's what opium dens and bus stops are for.
Like, I had no idea. And I go out to my mom, like, she thinks I'm shooting up drugs in the bathroom. What drugs come in a needle, Mom? Like, and my mom's like,
I'm sure she loved that.
Yeah.
So every time you injected
I would just
after
do it at
that,
the table. Then I would just do it at the table, and I'm like, take it, Karen.
But you got to make sure you say stuff like, "Oh, that's the stuff," just whenever you.
You know, I'm too high. I need to come down.
Right. So the joke I have right now about my Dexcom is I get I work for Chick-fil-A and I work 3 days a week. I'm also on disability. And I homeschool my kid. And when I'm at work, I love my job. I'm the hospitality person there.
Oh,
nice.
And when I'm talking to people,
your pleasure.
Oh, honey, you know it is. You want some more Polynesian and Chick-fil-A sauce? It's my pleasure.
There was a great video on TikTok last week where this guy's just running down the road after a car, and they're like, "What's?"
And they're doing it to the WAP
He's
song. Like, extra sauce, don't drop.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw that one.
Yeah.
So when I'm working on the drive-through side, I get a lot of, "Oh, you're diabetic," or "What's that?
Are you trying
What's that on your arm?" Yes, or is that for pain management? So what I've gone with now is this is my tracking device that Trump makes me wear.
Oh, I would have gone with the Chick-fil-A so they can monitor my break times so we can keep the service like this. And then you just mouth at them.
Here's the thing, because I'm not big on politics, and I value your opinion and your opinion. Whether you're for Trump, against Trump, doesn't matter. That's yours to have. I don't
I'm both
care.
sides too.
But
whether you're against Trump or really against Trump, I support you.
But it's good to have an open mind about it.
If I say that Trump made me do it, it's gonna flip a switch either way, and I love the reactions I get.
Yes.
I'm such a reactionary. Like, if you're gonna take the time to be dumb to ask me what this is, I'm gonna push every button you have.
We have the best tracking monitoring systems out there. I made them myself. What I did is I took it from the anklet that they put on my son, and I'll probably have in 8 months. I took it from there. I put it right on the arms. They sound like crazy. I've heard good things from lots of people. Which people? Lots of people. Lots of people.
I know all the good people.
They also test for COVID, so we're cutting down on testing. If only he hadn't tested, he wouldn't have COVID. What's that?
Have either of y'all had to be tested for COVID?
No,
go ahead. Sorry. No.
My daughter had been exposed to somebody who tested positive. So we, did the 2 weeks in the house, checks every day of our temperature. Nothing ever happened. So we were really lucky. But I've seen the testing. I actually want to get tested for the antibody test because
to see if you had it, and then
I lost my sense of smell and taste at the beginning of this year, like around February.
Well, I told you that years ago when you got married, but okay.
He's got jokes. He's very funny. You see, he's a very funny comedian.
I'm a funny guy.
But so I want to, do the blood test and be like, hey,
I got to get tested next week because I go back to the studio, and everybody has to get tested before they go back. But I'm glad I waited because now they do the little swabby thing where you don't have to go all the way to the back.
It doesn't go all the way to the brain.
No, which I didn't mind because I used to do like Circus Sideshow stuff, so I could like pound a screwdriver to the back. So I was already good with it, but it's not comfortable, So now that I can just go in and Q-tip, I feel really glad I waited. I feel really glad. Yeah. So, did you have to do the bristle to the back of the throat, scrape? Did you do one?
I have not.
Okay.
I have not. So when COVID started, like, my immune system's been a lot better than it has been over the past 26 years. But it wasn't. It's only been in the past year to 2 years that I've gotten it good. I've had sepsis twice.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and like sepsis is supposed to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I started doing a lot of supplements and homeopathic stuff, and it's worked out for me to strengthen my immune system. But when COVID started, I got scared. But I had already, my son and I homeschool him like long before COVID. So, we stayed home. We quarantined as it was. We were homebodies. And my mama works in a hospital. She's a pharmacy tech. So I did quarantine from her for a while. But I would still make them dinner and drop it at their door. Things like that. But they were, at times though, more people were worried about me than I was about me. Because I guess I kind of got to the point where I was like, well, if I get it, I get it. And my body is going to fight it either to the best of its ability or it's just going to give up. But it is what it is. I didn't want to live in fear. So I would still, for a while I did order my groceries. I wouldn't go certain places, but I still had to work.
Yeah.
And we, I was masked
did you guys never shut down during the whole thing, did you?
No.
Yeah.
No.
And how do you feel? How do you feel like whenever I go to Chick-fil-A, I actually, if I'm in my car going through drive-through, I wear my mask because Chick-fil-A people come right up to your window.
Oh yeah, we are.
Well, if I'm at McDonald's or Wendy's, I'm like, dude, you're on the other side of the glass. We're good to go. Do you guys prefer when people are driving through wearing masks, or does it matter to you?
So what we did at the beginning was we would be on the opposite side of your car. So there would be that like 6 foot distance.
Yeah.
And a lot of people would get annoyed with it. But, we're doing for us and for you. Like, we're masked.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of at the point, I don't mind if someone has their mask on. I'm more so, and I hope I don't offend anybody, but I more or less laugh when I see you pull up and it's already on. And you've been driving down the road. You're the only person in your car.
No.
Now, I will respect you more that if you pull up and then you put it on and roll down your window.
I'm not driving around with it, but I put it on if I'm in the drive-through. Yeah.
And I'm good with that, and we all are. And there was a long time like that we wore gloves. We did everything.
Yeah.
It's eased up now, and there's a big glove shortage. So within the past couple weeks is when we had to stop so that our kitchen, so that they were able to be gloved because they have to be gloved.
I'd rather they have it than you.
Right. And most of the time, we're not touching you or your cards. Like, we make it so that you do everything. Things like that. To me, I really just wish you would place a mobile order.
Yes.
Because then there's I don't have to try to do anything with you, and we can get you out fast.
I love that.
Our dining room is closed, and it has been, and it will be until after next year.
Oh, wow.
Because you got to imagine, like, it's a very small space.
Yeah.
We would literally have to have a bouncer. And I'm not like joking.
That would be so great. Make them dress up like the cow.
Because we would
have some experience of Chick-fil-A bouncing. I work the playground whenever I bring my kids there. And I'm sorry, if you're over the height on that door, you're not allowed in there while my kids are in there. I'm sorry.
So
and you take off your shoes on the slide.
Oh, take off the shoes, and you don't hang like a monkey. Okay? We don't do things we're not supposed to do. And they call me Mama Jess at work because I am like one of the oldest people that work there. There's a couple that are my age or a little older, but frontline, like I'm the oldest, so I'm mama. And as soon as like I would see kids like hanging from the apparatus, I'm in there going, not today. We don't do that.
That's kids. You can build a beautiful playground with a slide and the cars and the helicopter and the ball pit and
they
the little
play any of it.
And they'll look at that one exposed metal support beam over there and they're like, bet I could flip on that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Or I bet I can pee on that slide.
Oh.
Smack some people.
Yeah, I read a report years ago that ball pits are like the least sanitary places because little kids just tinkle, tinkle. And they're not all diabetics. Some of them are just evil. All right? They get in there and they just go, hey, I'm having fun. Why stop this to go pee? I can do it right here.
You didn't have a slushie? No reason? Oh, my God. Yeah. No, I don't think I've ever let her go in a ball pit.
Let her go to the bathroom or just go?
In a ball pit, not in the bath. I've let her go.
Well, you said let her. I don't think I ever let her go in a ball pit. Well, I'm glad.
He's saying,
Mama
did you let her pee in a ball pit?
I'd never let her pee, and I never let her in one. She's never been in one, and I don't
care. She's never been in Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes, but they didn't have a ball pit at the crap one by me.
Oh,
yeah, no, like it's only in our.
She's missing out. Ball pits are kind of the shiz.
Yeah, just make sure you get a tetanus shot.
Yeah. Definitely wear your mask when you're in there.
Hey, if I get stuck with a needle on anything, it better be for my insulin, okay? Don't need a rando. No.
Point. Yeah, Halloween's coming up, and you've met Carmen before. Yeah. He's got this great joke. He's like, all my life I was scared about finding razor blades in my candy. Have you seen what Gillette's cost now? They're like $7.99 a 3-pack. I go around trick-or-treating hoping someone puts a razor in there. Like, I've been waiting for a week to get this shit.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, yes. I grew up in the era where it's like they had just started X-raying candy. And my dad would go through our candy saying he's looking for razor blades. No, he's taking our Reese's and our Snickers.
Yeah, the good stuff. You get left with those little orange and black weird no-name wrapped candies.
Oh yeah, the peanut butter things.
Yeah. Just the candy corn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jess, we're gonna slowly wrap things up. But what advice would you give to someone who maybe just got diagnosed with diabetes and is kind of freaked out about it? We've been seeing a lot of late diagnosed diabetics in our group.
Oh yeah, I have. And
what'd you put there?
So, I would say, first of all, take a deep breath. You're going to get there. You may not get there today. And you're going to struggle. I'm not going to lie. Like, you will struggle. You're going to have your good days. You're going to have your bad days. But,
as your mom says, it's not cancer.
Right? Yeah, he says, at least it's not cancer.
And they're like, we should have waited to tell you these other results.
I would also say reach out and find a good support system.
Yes.
And that's whatever that support system is to you. It may not be anyone that has diabetes, just your group of friends or your parents or sisters, family, whatever. To me, it is some of that. Yeah. But to me, it's really been finding other diabetics. And this day and age, it's online.
It's so much easier.
Yeah.
Right. If you have kind of a day.
Skewed sense of humor, Dead Pancreas Society might be a place for you to look. It might be that right amount of tough love. And
we're the misfit family for you. If you don't know where you fit in, there's a good chance you're going to fit in with us. If you're dysfunctional, we're that family.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want
BS cures and cinnamon, okra water, and pumpkin seeds and all that. Go to the Live Long and Prosper Diabetes.
When you're ready to embrace the dark side, come on over.
we have cookies.
We have cookies, and they're not
sugar-free.
No.
No. We just give you the right carb count, honey.
Exactly. No sugar-free.
Eat the cake. Eat the cookies.
You need to. Oh, you're getting.
She says as she beeps.
I know. Eat the cookies.
Right.
Well, Jess, it's been amazing. Are you good? How are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
All right. So it's been great having you on.
Yes.
You were hysterical, and I loved it.
Thank you.
And it's been awesome talking to you. I can't wait for more chit chats we can have in the future. But
yes, let's do it again. I'd love to.
Awesome. Well, it was wonderful having you on. We're gonna throw you back in our not so green room, or actually, let's just cut you off and say goodbye.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Sorry, I rambled. So thank you everybody for watching this episode. If you like it, please check out our other episodes. You can do that thing, the liking or the subscribing, and get to see more of us. Anything you would like to say, Myke?
No, and you know what? If you listen to our podcast and you haven't already, go ahead and join the Facebook group, the Dead Pancreas Society, because it's much in line with our humor. So if you enjoy this podcast, I can pretty much guarantee you're going to enjoy being in that group.
Absolutely. Say goodbye, darling.
Goodbye, darling.